episode number 1. I have no idea what the name of this podcast is going to be yet, but I know what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about sports, majority basketball, some football, I'd say, and whatever I can think of. I mean, maybe some baseball. I don't know. I'm not really a huge baseball fan, but maybe some baseball. But majority basketball. I love basketball. Well, what better to talk about in basketball than clearly the NBA Finals? So let's talk about this NBA Finals real quick. The Suns are up 2-0 right now against the Milwaukee Bucks. And I'm quite surprised, actually. Like, yeah, the Suns are good. They're good. Devin Booker's a bucket. Chris Paul needs to win his first ring. But Giannis, like, it's Giannis. I don't know. You know. Let me look something up. I want to look up some of the game stats. Oh my god. Giannis last game put up 40 minutes, 12 rebounds, 42 points, and 4 assists. That is ridiculous, and they still lost. Drew Holiday he has 17, 17 and 7. Pat Connaughton had 14, 7 rebounds. Brooke Lopez played like a nobody. Brian Forbes played like a nobody too. He only played 6 minutes. That is unreal. That is crazy. Devin Booker had 31. Chris Paul had 23. Mikal Bridges had 27. 27. Jay Crowder had 11. And DeAndre Ayton had 10. 10 and 11 rebounds, a double-double. But that is unreal. This is my take on the NBA Finals. I have the next game that happens. I got the Milwaukee Bucks in Game 3, which is this Sunday coming up. I'm recording this on Saturday. I have the Milwaukee Bucks in Game 3. I have the Milwaukee Bucks in Game 4. I said they all step up. Brook Lopez especially. He steps up a lot. Him and Drew Holiday. And they get the dub. Game 3 and Game 4. Game 5 goes to the Suns. They go back home. The Suns take Game 5. I got Game 6. I got the Bucks taking it at their house. Chris Middleton goes off that game. Game 6. Guaranteed. Chris Middleton is a dog. Anybody that disagrees with me, I just can't talk to you. Chris Middleton is a dog. And then Game 7, as much as I want The Milwaukee Bucks to win. The Phoenix Suns taking Game 7. Chris Paul wins his first ring, which is good and all. I'm a die-hard Clippers fan. I've loved the Clippers my entire life. But I want Chris Paul to win a ring. Suns can get it next year. Something else. Something else I wanted to talk about was the Kemba Walker trade. I want to look who's all involved in that trade. Look up who's on that trade. Give me 1 second. Oh my god. As everybody knows, clearly, if you keep track of the NBA at all, Kemba Walker is traded to the OKC Thunder, and this is what I want to happen. I know they're probably gonna look to trade him for some picks or something, get some value out of him. But I think if I'm Kemba, this is what I'd want to do if I'm Kemba. He clearly didn't have the best season last year. This season, clearly. But I say if I'm Kemba, I want to stay in OKC and I want to prove myself. I want to prove myself. I want to show that I'm still a top like 10 point guard. All right, I got the trade right here. They traded Kemba Walker for Al Horford. It's like, how old is Al Horford? Like 50? But like actually, how old is he? Like he's old, ain't like old old. 35. Oh my gosh. Boston also sent number 16th overall draft pick and 2025 second rounder to the Thunder, and they received 7-footer Moses Brown and a second round pick in return. Moses Brown, I'm pretty sure he's like has a lot of potential. He's not bad by any means. He's pretty good. Al Horford, he's like if I'm him, I want to win now. If I'm Al Horford, I'm 35 years old. I'm an old man. I want to win now. Kemba is most likely going to get traded again, clearly. But I feel like Kemba needs to prove himself to everybody again. Kemba, when he was on the Hornets, was a dog. Kemba was a dog. And something else I wanted to talk about was the NBA free agents this year. And like I said before, I'm a Clippers fan all the way. There is not one way in this world Kawhi leaves LA. He came to LA to be with his family and stuff. And I mean, we made it to the conference finals this year without him. I mean, yeah, we had him for the first couple rounds, but PG really stepped up. I think guaranteed he's coming back. Not a doubt in my mind. 100% coming back. Chris Paul. Chris Paul, Chris Paul. He declined his player option, I think. I think he did. I still think he'll go back, if that makes any sense at all. I still think, even though he declined it, I think they'll offer him something else and he'll take it. He, they made it to the finals. Like, how could you pass that up with the team you just made it to the finals with? Mike Conley. Ooh, I don't know. I do not know. Mike Conley, he's all right. Like, but he's an unrestricted free agent. I think Mike Conley will stay also. I really do. I feel like they have a pretty good thing going on in Utah. Kyle Lowry gone. Kyle Lowry's gone. 100%. And I want to say the same for DeMar DeRozan. There's no way DeMar DeRozan is happy in San Antonio. There's no way. I don't know. Could we see Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan meeting up somewhere? That'd be pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie. Otto Porter Jr. Hmm. I don't know. I really don't know about Otto Porter Jr. Not really. I mean, he's pretty decent. He's pretty decent. Victor Oladipo. There's not one way. If I'm him, I'm going back to Houston. There's not one way in this world. I want out of there. If I'm him, I want out of there ASAP. Goran Dragic. In my opinion, Goran Dragic is one of the most underrated players in the NBA. He is a bucket, honestly. He's a very, very good point guard. I don't know. Dennis Schroeder, he'll be lucky if he gets back on the Lakers. He'd be lucky. He's he's very overrated in my opinion. I don't think he's nearly as good as everybody thinks he is. Just all around low key overrated. Tim Hardaway Jr. though is underrated. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a very, very good shooting guard. Cannot miss from anywhere on the court. And those are just some of the free agents. There's a lot of them. Like Lonzo Ball. Oh my goodness. Lonzo Ball. Bring him to LAC. Bring him to LAC. We need a good guard. We need a good point guard. Pat Bev isn't doing it for us. I'm sorry, Pat Bev. I'm just not. I don't feel it. Derrick Rose. Woo! Derrick Rose. Bring him to LAC too. No, I say he'll resign with the Knicks. I say he'll resign with the Knicks. Carmelo Anthony is a free agent. Carmelo Anthony. He's getting old. If Carmelo Anthony's going to sign with some high market, win now, championship contending team, guaranteed. All I'm saying is don't be shocked when Carmelo Anthony goes to the Nuggets. Do not be shocked. Team he was drafted to, going to retire there. Kind of a championship contending team. It all makes sense. You know I'm not wrong. Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie. I have no idea where Spencer Dinwiddie would go. I just looked this up, and it says Kyle Lowry's agent denies 76ers trade rumors. Woo! Oh, speaking of the 76ers, let's talk about the all time disappointment known as Ben Simmons. Let's talk about his playoff performance. Absolutely awful. So scared to shoot the ball. I could have went out there and scored more points than him, and that's a fact. I'm 6 foot 150. Hey, I might not make it, but I'll shoot it. I guarantee you that. That's a fact. I'm looking at some NBA rumors to see where Kyle Lowry might go. The New York Knicks is one of the top three perfect landing spots for Kyle Lowry this offseason. And evidently they're pursuing him. The New York Knicks. Let's talk about that for a second. The New York Knicks. I don't I don't mind it. I think it's I think it's all right. I think it'd be a decent fit for him. I feel like they have good surrounding players. Julius Randle, Emmanuel Quickly. They're not bad. Mitchell Robinson. Who else they have? RJ Barrett. They're not a bad team. They're young. They kind of need a veteran player like Kyle Lowry. I kind of like that. I like the fit. I'd like to see him on the Knicks. Oh, and here we go. Every offseason, every the team that every player is supposedly going to, the Miami Heat. I don't. I like it. I like it. I think he'd fit in good in Miami, also. But I don't know. I don't know. Jimmy, Tyler, Duncan, Bam. Ooh, that's a mean little team right there. That could be good. That could be really good. I don't know how well Lowry and Butler would mix. How well they'd mesh together. The Knicks. It's just such a perfect fit in my eyes. Of a really young core team, Julius Randle, MIP, Mitchell Robinson. They have a nice little team. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Let's talk about Damian Lillard. Let's talk about Damian Lillard. I don't think he leaves. I do not think he leaves. I don't think that's the type of player Dame is. I think Dame is more of a let me prove to you that I can do it type player, if that makes any sense. I think that they will try to get stars and other role players to come around him and help him, but I do not. I don't think they will leave. They just need to put together a winning roster. And the roster they have right now is not a winning roster. It is not at all. It is him, CJ. I mean, what else? Like, what else they have? Honestly. Melo, but he's old, out of his prime. They played terrible in the playoffs. Maybe they trade. They might think about a trade for CJ. They trade CJ away because CJ did not play very well in the playoffs at all. Dame had to put the entire team on his back. I'm gonna look up some possible trades for CJ. Oh no, the Trailblazers have considered trading with the Mavericks for Porzingis. Oh no, oh no. Listen, listen. I've never been one to judge somebody off their playoff performance. Clearly, Paul George played pandemic P last year was awful, but he clearly stepped up this year in the playoffs. Clearly, I just clearly got us to the conference finals. Thank you, PG. Anyways, Porzingis, I've never been a big fan of Porzingis. I think he just had a bad playoff run. I think I think he'll be all right, but I think CJ is way more valuable than Porzingis. If I'm the Trailblazers, I need way more in return than just Porzingis. I'm gonna need some other pieces, picks, players, something. Just CJ is too valuable to the team. This says a possible trade rumor: Pascal Siakam to the Golden State Warriors. Clearly, Siakam had a little fall off this year, and like kind of last year. Definitely from their championship run. But I mean, you're of course going to be better when you have a championship team around you. Clearly, but I still think Siakam. I still think Siakam's a very good player. Honestly, I don't think he's bad. I want to see who they try to trade him for. What do they think they can get out of him? There's no mock trade or anything of it. I don't know. I'm still thinking about the Kyle Lowry to the Knicks. I'm still over here thinking about it. I think that's a very, very good trade. I mean, not a trade. Not a trade, my bad. Pick up for the Knicks in free agency. I think they'd make a very deep run in the playoffs also. Come playoff time. I think that team would be very, very good and have a lot of good pieces. Well, this is probably going to do it for this episode. This is podcast number 1, episode number 1. Still don't have a name for the podcast yet, but I'm going to have one before next episode. And we're going to have, I got to work on a logo for the podcast. I'm going to start having guests, people to talk to and debate with and argue with, I'm sure. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to edit every video, every podcast. All right. I'll see you on the next podcast. Peace.
Winners.